Alright. I'm going to go ahead and get into the next part of John. I have a little friend here making some biscuits. Oh, come on, little girl. Alright. Well, we're going to go ahead and open up with a quote just to see where this lands us. So this is an interesting one. Like all of these are very interesting, but this quote is, "When the first baby laughed for the first time, the laugh broke into 1,000 pieces, and they all went skipping about. That was the beginning of fairies." And that might sound familiar to some of you. That's from Peter Pan. And again, don't ask how these quotes came about, but they are all very randomly selected by myself. Of course, not in conjunction with any biblical text, but I just found them and I thought it would be fun to draw them into each section. So what I can gather from this is laughter, right? Laughter, joy, fractures, right? Breaking into 1,000 pieces reminds me of fracturing. Fracturing in a beginning of something. That's what I can gather from this quote. And that's exactly what is about to happen in these next few sections of Joshua. So there's been a long time coming of battle and D&D, lots of death and destruction, but now that all is said and done, the Israelites might be feeling some joy, some laughter. They might be excited, right? They might be very, very excited because what is coming to them is the promised land, is the land that they really worked so hard for, working really so hard for with the Lord, in conjunction with the Lord, to go ahead and move into their allotted land. So the Lord is going to begin to give Joshua instructions on how to fracture or divvy up the land between the 12 tribes. And let's go ahead and talk about it. Just a short little section. We'll learn just the beginnings, and then I'll break the divisions down as we go on throughout the week. And again, this does emphasize a lot of detail here. So we love the amount of detail that's in the Bible. Of course, it's not every little thing here, but as far as censuses, land allotments, things like that is very, very detailed and recorded in the Bible here, especially in the Old Testament. So let's go ahead and begin with chapter 13. "And Joshua had grown old. The Lord said to him, 'You are now very old, and there are still very large areas of land to be taken over. As for all the inhabitants of the mountain regions, from Lebanon to Misrephoth Maim, that is, all the Sidonians, I myself will drive them out before the Israelites. Be sure to allocate this land to Israel for inheritance, as I have instructed you, and divide it as an inheritance among the 9 tribes and half the tribe of Manasseh. But to the tribe of Levi he gave no inheritance, since the food offerings presented to the Lord, the God of Israel, are their inheritance, as he promised them.'" This is what Moses had given. So we're kind of going back here, thinking about what Moses had already allotted to the outside of the 9 tribes, Reuben, right? And the half tribe of Manasseh. So this is what Moses had given to the tribe of Reuben according to its clans. "To Heshbon and all its towns on the plateau, including Dibon, Bamoth Baal, Beth Baal Meon." This is what Moses had given to the tribe of Gad according to its clans. I forgot. Some of Gad stayed behind too. "And in the valley, Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, and Zaphon, with the rest of the realm of Sihon, king of Heshbon, the east side of the Jordan, the territory up to the end of the Sea of Galilee." All right. So there's a lot of words in here. Again, just giving us a little synopsis of what was already granted. As we remember, there were some sections of tribes and tribes themselves that stayed entirely behind on the other side of the Jordan, while the younger generations had moved on and moved forward and went and taken over the other land. So something that I did want to look up really quickly, because we will go through it a lot, is the word Beth in Hebrew. So we will come to know a lot of the towns that are titled the way they are, like Bamoth Baal, Beth Baal and Bethan, things like that. The Hebrew meaning of Beth means home or house, means house, so that's why a lot of the towns are titled that way. I'm going to go ahead and look up another one, just because that will come on a lot as well. Baal means Lord, so there are lots of towns named after Baal, which means just Lord in Hebrew, okay? I know there was the Baal, I think, right, something that they weren't supposed to worship, but it does just mean Lord in Hebrew. So that gives you a little bit of background here on some of these towns. Again, just a very short reading to go ahead and set up what is to come and the fracturing really of it all. And yes, the Israelites are excited. They're finally ready to receive their inheritance that they have been waiting generations for, generations and generations. So yes, good things to come. Thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of your day.